And I had to ask myself, is this how all like indigenous slash native peoples, Americans think? Because if so, we've been doing it wrong this whole time. So during my time in the psych ward, I had a chance to kick it with this patient that happened to be indigenous. I don't remember what tribe they were from. They lived on a reservation and they had decided to venture out into the regular folks town, and they wound up in a psych ward. And after I got a chance to kick it with them and they were telling me about their way of life, how it was on the reservation, they told me something foundationally different regarding how they label mental health disorders in their community. Welcome back to Jay's Psych Ward Stories.
Hey, we are living in a psych ward. I'm quite sure this is psych ward. I'm quite sure.
Welcome to Jay's Psych Ward Stories, y'all, where I tell y'all stories from my 7+ years of experience working on the inside of the wards. I have sensational stories that have really shown me how much I don't know about this world, but it's caused me to want to bring these stories forth outward to people that have these experiences but maybe feel afraid to talk about them, or they don't find this type of content on the internet for people actually talking about mental health in a destigmatized way, a maybe positive angle, or the dark truths of the psych ward that don't hit the light enough. So if this is something that you are interested in, be sure you follow, you like, you share, you subscribe, whatever platform it's on. I got new videos every week. But let's get to this story. Now, the reason why this person had ended up in a psych ward, as I said, is they decided to leave the reservation. Now, what I heard about leaving the reservation is they don't protect you out there. I mean, people go out into the real world all the time, but you know, these reservations are protected per se. Now, we can get to the dark facts of things going on reservations, how America continues to take advantage and tell us that it's some program they're helping with or whatever. There's a lot of infiltrations and false crap going on. So I don't want to sell the wrong message or underrepresent reservations and speak for them all. But this individual happened to be from a reservation. They were self-reliant. Yeah, he was still integrated into the technological sides of society, knowing and being hip to what's trending and stuff like that. But very much so isolated, very much so on the frequency and way of life of his people. And one of the things that they told me was foundationally different about how we talk about mental health is people identify with it way too much. So we'll say, I'm depressed. We'll say, I'm bipolar. I'm schizophrenic. And we don't think twice about it because that's just how we're taught to label ourselves when we're talking about a diagnosis. But he said he refuses to use that type of language, nor does it translate into his indigenous language. And even though it wasn't an all the way clean translation, he said when they refer to mental health situations that they're dealing with, they say, I am walking with depression. I am walking with schizophrenia. I am walking with bipolar disorder, or it walks with me as a separate entity. So they don't identify with the disorder as it being a part of them. And I started to think about that philosophically and psychologically. Wow. When we say that we are something, because all the time we say things like, if I say, I'm so stupid, there will be a bunch of people in the comment section saying, stop saying you stupid. I see that all the time about how words have power. Sentence structure has power. Once upon a time, people were a lot more tied to the real definitions and meanings of the language that we spoke. And I'm not pushing nobody to become a linguist or to sit here and look up all the Latin derivatives and things of that nature so we can understand what the heck we're saying. Number one, I think English is just one of those quirky languages that in so many ways doesn't make sense. I can understand why it's so difficult to learn, even though it's one of the main languages of the world. I really liked Swahili when I went to Africa. I took my family to Tanzania back in 2021, and we stayed out there for a month. I had learned some Swahili before I got out there. Mambo vipi, nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Ooh-wee, I still got it a little bit. That was just, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. And also I had to use this one when they tried to upcharge me. Sitaki bia mzungu. That is, don't give me that white people price. Because you know, when you're in these foreign places and white people come and visit, people always like to make sure that they jack up the prices so they can get the profit. And what they gonna do? Oh yes, I'll pay it. A lot of the times the money go farther anyway, and it still don't end up being that much. But yeah, I said, don't give me that price, brother. Come on, we locked in. But anyways, language is powerful. It's a tool, a vessel to get across a message of understanding that translates, that we resonate with. So what does it mean when you're saying you are something versus you're walking with something? I believe that is a foundationally different way to view it, and maybe it's something that you can consider as you look at how you identify with your disorder. Now, some people, when they get a diagnosis that actually fits them and makes sense, it makes them want to identify with it because it's like, finally, a description that fits my situation, that seems to understand and grasp what it is that I'm actually facing on a day-to-day basis. And so it could be easy to identify with that. We have so much identity politics in America. Some good, some bad, some harmful on different levels. But not everything has to be an identity. Like, let's be real for a second. Do you believe that you are the definition of depression? I mean, for those of you that are depressed, do you feel like you are the definition of depression? Maybe you felt more depressed than ever on some days. Maybe you felt like, yeah, what I'm doing and how I'm feeling and how I'm acting is the definition of depression. But is that you in totality? Or would you sum up yourself more complex than that? If you're struggling with schizophrenia, hearing voices, would you actually identify with being what schizophrenia is? Or do you recognize it as something that is maybe attached to you at the moment, or a product of whatever chemical functionings are happening or not happening in your brain? Do you identify with that to where you become the disorder? Now, for some people, maybe that's not alarming. You're like, yeah, actually, it doesn't bother me. I'm cool with it. But for others, I challenge you to maybe think about this differently, because how we identify with something can radically change how we see ourselves and how we can see ourselves working through certain solutions. Because it can create an invisible mental prison for you that you don't even realize you're in. Because if you say, I am depressed, that identity notifier is spoken out loud to yourself, to your brain. And when you do things long enough, you will believe it. We are creatures of habit. Some things we do automatically and we don't even think about it because we've been doing it for so long, and we implement it into our daily processes, and it's just a part of the fabric of our life. But I would liken changing the way we look at identifying with our disorders to like maybe having an air purifier in your crib. You might not notice the difference immediately, but after some days go by, those small little things start to show up in how you breathe and how you feel subconsciously. And if psychology is the study of how we think and how we behave, I think that we should reassess how identifying ourselves a certain way can change how we experience ourselves on a daily basis. So when I was talking to him, I was like, yo, man, and this was, I said, you should bring this up in group. I think it would be a good topic for us to discuss, and it would be a good perspective to share with others. And he said, really? I'm like, yeah. He said, okay. So during group, when everybody was talking about the disorders that they had and how long they've been struggling with certain things, what they found has helped, he shared from his experience. And there were like 5 or 6 people in there that really felt like, oh my goodness, like really moved. Now there were some people that was just like, okay, that was cool, and then they go about their own business. But there was a handful of people in there that was like, this has radically changed the way I see what I'm struggling with right now. And it gives me hope that maybe what I'm dealing with is temporary. Maybe it doesn't have to be a permanent part of me, and me identifying with it in this fashion gave me the false belief that I would struggle with this my entire life. And I said, oh, that's deep. That's deep. When we say these things and identify the road that it pays for us that we haven't even walked yet, but we just continue to be on this line of identification, never stepping off because we haven't broadened the horizon to walk other paths. Still recognizing the disorder that we are walking with, still recognizing the struggles that we are currently walking with, but just not taking it as a part of our personhood. I want to know what y'all think about that. I just thought it was very interesting. I'd never seen that patient again. That was the first and last time he came to the unit. A lot of patients I dealt with were repeaters, coming over and over and over again, especially on that unit. So I guess he got what he needed, and he left some good gems behind as well. So let me know what y'all think about that. Also, if you would like to understand how to navigate psych wards, maybe you've been thinking about going, maybe you've been and you want to be equipped if you ever have to go back, pick up Jay's Psych Ward Survival Guide. We now have our physical copies ready and for sale on Amazon. Some of you guys have been asking me about this for a long time, and I've been putting in so much work behind the scenes. We have the ebook copy if you want to keep it on you on your phone, but this will be great for you to take with you when you go to the psych ward, so you can make sure that you can ask the right questions, have everything you need, and know exactly what processes you're going to go through and how to make it through successfully in the best way so that you can get out when you need to and get everything you need while you're on the inside. So pick up a guide. I would actually encourage you guys, if you know you're gonna be in the psych ward, for any psychiatrists, nurses, workers that want to make sure your patients are covered grab some copies of this and just leave them there for the patients to be able to pick up and take with them. That'd be a blessing for the unit, for them to be able to understand who all is there to help them while on the unit. You can already be a help to them by grabbing some of these books and taking it to your patients. Additionally, if you are struggling with your mental health right now and you want a space, a community where people understand you, have been through some similar things as you, then you should consider joining the Psych Ward Survival Club. This is a space for people with mental health struggles of various degrees. We got all types of people in there. Some of the strongest people that I've ever met, with some intense stories, some interesting experiences that all want the same thing: peace, positivity, and a pathway that gives them clarity, confidence, and control over their treatment and their futures. Money is valuable, right? But the more of it I give away, the more of it I lose. Knowledge is not like that. It's like fire. If I have a small candle and somebody has a candle that's not lit and I light theirs, and then somebody else has a candle that's not lit and they light theirs, the fire just continues to spread and get bigger. That is the benefit of community. Everybody puts their little candles together and you can create a big fire and have knowledge together to move and do more things for each other and for yourselves. We have weekly discussions. We support one another. I go through this full guide through a video series called the Psych Survival Guide. And if you take the course, you get this for free. Yes, that means you will get a Psych Survival Guide for free when you join the Psych Guide course. Go on over to the links, whether it's in my bio, in the description, in the comments section, and make sure you get connected. The whole community's waiting on you right now. And then for my workers that want to be able to establish a community of healthcare workers committed to giving patients the right care that they need, to be able to find like-minded individuals who are serious about patient advocacy, patient rights, and finding tools, tips, and tactics to make sure that that is prioritized in your workplace. Join the Psych Worker Survival School. Healthcare workers of all positions, whether you're a psychiatrist, a nurse, a tech, a CNA, it doesn't matter. As long as you work in healthcare or want to work in healthcare, you can be in a place of people that are on your level, above your level, all there for the same patient advocacy training and promoting that amongst each other in the community, sharing how work was, talking about sensational stories on this platform, talking about things that were stressful that only people that work in those fields could understand, giving tips and insights if you're already employed at a certain position on how people can get in. These are dynamic school groups that I don't think exist in any other capacity anywhere. So don't walk over to that school community as well. I appreciate y'all as always. Like for more videos.